Hey folks, and welcome to CarStarz 10 Wild Facts about Al's Dodge, Plymouth Duster, and one of my all-time favorite shows, the 1987 TV series Married with Children. Fact number 1. There were reportedly 3 different 1971 through 1974 mixed parts Plymouth Dusters used throughout the 11-season run of the show. That's right, although Al often proudly proclaimed his car as the Dodge, it wasn't technically a Dodge model at all. Then again, both brands were Chrysler products, so they were directly related, with the closest equivalent Dodge model to the Plymouth Duster being the quite similar Dodge Dart. However, just like the show always liked to poke fun at, Al's car was indeed a bit of a Frankenstein car. Although they called it a Dodgenstein, I suppose Plymouthstein would be a more accurate name, but that certainly doesn't sound as good, does it? This deliberate hodgepodge of part mixing and matching by the prop department is why car enthusiast viewers would often get themselves into heated debates about exactly what year Al's car was, and who could blame us. Fact number 2. One of the biggest misconceptions I read on the web today about the Plymouth Dusters used to portray Al's car is incorrect information about their engines. Most people just assume that the cars on the show were V8 engine powered, as the show's presentation did its best to try depicting it as having a V8 by dubbing in rough-running, backfiring V8 sounds quite often. Not to mention even going as far as using a prop V8 engine in the scene here, portraying that Peg and the kids had removed the engine of Al's car. However, in reality, all 3 of the Dusters used in the show were actually powered by the bottom-of-the-line option slant 6-cylinder engine instead, outputting just over 100 horsepower to a 3-speed automatic transmission. There were even open hood scenes with all 3 cars that plainly revealed this fact, but so many have apparently overlooked that and just chose to believe what the show's plot was trying to emulate instead. Fact number 3. Al's car's exterior and interior colors changed multiple times during the run of the show, and it wasn't always part of the episode's stories either. The Plymouth Dusters used to represent Al's Dodge start off with this blue exterior with blue interior Duster, then that same car was painted bronze for part of the same episode that it debuted on, and was the primary car for the majority of the series. The second Duster used was this bronze with a tan interior Duster that we first see in early Season 9. This Duster was painted red later on in Season 9 and was the primary car used for the rest of the series after that. They later put a blue dash cover and blue seat covers in this car to make it look a bit more like the original Duster. Then finally we briefly see this third different Duster used to portray the more pristine condition version of Al's car when he was young, which is this red Duster with a black interior. This car was only used in a single episode for the flashback scenes of Season 11, Episode 4. Fact number 4. Other than the color changes, the whole show is riddled with other verbal inconsistencies and continuity errors regarding Al's car throughout the 11 seasons of the show. The car's year was even mentioned as different years throughout the show. For example, one time it was described by a character as a 71 Dodge, and another time when Al says it was a 74 Dodge. But then again, considering that the cars were a mix of different years of Duster parts, those script differences weren't far from reality actually. And probably the biggest continuity error about the car in the show was that Al supposedly bought the car in a used car lot when he was in high school in the mid-1960s, which really made no sense considering the Plymouth Duster wasn't even introduced until late 1969, with production years of 1970 through 1976. Fact number 5. Funny enough, in the only 18 episodes that Al's car appears throughout this 258-episode show, the car is portrayed to have been immobilely broken down an impressive 6 of those times. And of course, that's not counting all the seamlessly endless list of general problems or malfunctions that Al's car supposedly has or has had in the past, as mentioned by multiple characters throughout the series, which adds to the hilarity and very convincing portrayal of Al's car being such a clunker of a vehicle. Just some of those mentioned and also depicted issues of the car include a faulty hood latch, cracked engine block, parts falling off, a missing gas cap replaced by a rag, faulty brakes, a bad fuel pump, and of course the damaged ignition key, prompting Al to use a screwdriver as a key. Fact number 6. Plymouth Dusters have since become quite a sought-after collector car for vintage Chrysler enthusiasts. One strong contributing factor to their collectability and relatively high value these days is because they were only produced for a single generation, and also since Plymouth is no more, have yet been brought back in a way that Dodge Dart, Challenger, or Charger have. If you go on the hunt for pretty much any year of decent condition Duster today, be prepared to check out around $40,000 or more depending on the options and originality, as their values just keep rising every year as most vintage Plymouth models do. Considering the Plymouth brand name has been extinct for over 20 years now, chances are that Chrysler won't be reviving that brand since they are doing so well with the equivalent modern coupes under the Dodge brand, such as the Dart, Challenger, and of course the Viper. Fact number 7. One coincidence that I find quite funny is that you know how late in the series how the show practically became a live-action cartoon of sorts with all the funny animation overlays and Warner Brothers cartoon character references? Well, funny enough, Chrysler originally wanted the Duster's emblem logos to be the Tasmanian Devil so they could capitalize on the well-known Warner Brothers cartoon character in the same way that they did in the past by using the Roadrunner for the Plymouth Roadrunner. However, negotiations with Warner Brothers failed this time and they were not given permission to use it. So, Chrysler's Thomas Birch designed a somewhat similar Dust Devil Twister character logo to use for the Duster's signature logo instead. Fact number 8. As for replicas of Al's Duster, it probably doesn't come to much surprise to you that there aren't many of any publicly displayed ones across the web that I could find anyways. Or at least not ones that were done well enough to actually match the unique look of Al's Duster, that is. However, I suppose pretty much any rough condition blue, bronze, or red vinyl top all-stock original 1971 through 1974 Duster would be good enough for most folks interested in such a car. Although, finding one in all-stock form and still with those original hubcaps could present a challenge at this point, as most Dusters left out there have had a number of modifications by now, with the first thing usually to go being those plain old stock wheels. Fact number 9. So where are the 3 Al Bundy Dusters today, you ask? Well, that's a good question, as there seems to be no traces of them anywhere when deep searching across the internet today. There is a rumor out there that Ed O'Neill kept the original car after the show ended, but I was not able to find any evidence anywhere to back up that claim, so consequently I don't believe that to be true. I really doubt these Dusters are even still around today, as they were considered just old and nearly worthless cars at the time that they were used on the show. Even if they were resold after the show ended, most likely there would be little to link them to the TV series, meaning the owner would probably never even be aware of it. But if anyone watching this has further information on where these Dusters went after the show, or happen to knowingly own one of them, please let us know in the comments below. Fact number 10. Looking into the scale model scene, although there aren't any direct replicas of Al's Duster on the current retail market, there are a few Plymouth Duster model options available. As for model kits, there is this 1/25th scale 1971 Duster AMT kit available that you could use to build your own Al's car with, like this model builder did a quite impressive job of here. Or, if diecast is more of your kind of thing, the best and most detailed Duster you'll most likely find out there is this out of retail circulation 1/18th scale 1970 Plymouth Duster 340 from Auto World. This is the orange version, but there's also a rally red version of this model as well that would be a bit closer to Al's Duster. This model is quite pricey now though, as they usually go from around $150 to $200 on eBay, so you have to search on there to find one. The now defunct Johnny Lightning brand used to make some pretty good 1/64 scale diecast Duster models too that can also be found on eBay. Probably the best way to go here is just creating your own with the previously mentioned AMT model kit that can be had for around $30. I will put a link to where you can get that 1971 Duster kit in the description below. And for those who haven't seen it yet, I have recently created my own diecast car channel named Show and Tell Diecast that I display and detail my diecast models that I now add videos to weekly also. I will include the link to the new channel in the video description below as well for those interested. Well, there you have it folks. Thanks for watching and make sure to hit that subscribe button if you like what you saw here. You guys are all great. See you next time.